Live from the 4 Points by Sheridan in downtown Tallahassee, this is a WTXL ABC 27 special presentation. You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Brought to you in part by the following sponsors: the Gem Collection, Academy Sports and Outdoors, Pizza Hut, E&B Heating and Air, Awards for You, Tallahassee Board of Realtors, Tallahassee Eye Center, Napleton Infinity, Benson's Heating and Air, Tallahassee Community College, Cars, Trucks, and Credit, and Ramjack. And now, here's the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, and head coach, Jimbo Fisher.
Watching ABC 27, we're here again, another season at the 4 Points by Sheridan and Coach. It's amazing. It seems like we were just here 2 days ago, but it's been over almost 9 months.
It does. It's been a long time, but it seems like yesterday at the same time.
Yeah, it's football season. You feel it in the air, Coach? It's football season.
Yeah, it is here now.
Yeah.
It is definitely here.
A lot of work goes on in the heat. You started spring practice, or fall practice, first week in August, and here we are the first week in September.
It seemed like that was about 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I wish I had about another 3 weeks.
Yeah, wow. Number 8.
I don't think they do, though.
Number 8 and number 10, preseason ranked Florida State Seminoles. Coach, 52 weeks we've been ranked in the top 10. That's a long time to be recognized by the folks that vote on these polls as a top 10 team.
It has been. I mean, that's what we wanted to be. We wanted to be a program. We didn't want to have a good team. We wanted to have a program. And like I say, programs sustain the test of time, and they're every year. And I think we got another great group of kids. Like I say, we're young and inexperienced in some places, but very talented. And I'm as anxious to watch this group play as I have of any I've had, because I think there's so much potential, but I think there's so much youth there. So it's a lot of growing pains, but as a coach, that's what you like.
Well, and we're going to kick off the season in a couple of days. Texas State is here, and Coach, not going to talk about this after tonight, but I think we need to sort of step back 1 minute before we look ahead and say congratulations on a 29-game win streak, the 12th longest in the history of college football.
Oh, good.
And 29 out of 30 games we have won, and our fans have gone home happy. And Coach, congratulations for that tremendous win streak. I think Seminole fans appreciate what we've been able to do.
Well, I appreciate that. I can say sometimes when you're in it and you're doing it, you don't realize what's going on. But hopefully, the thing that this team has taken from those teams is not the ability about the winning in the games. It's about how to prepare to win in the games. And I think hopefully that's what the culture we've created, and then also to keep your poise and play in those big games. So we're going to have a lot of opportunity this year, so I'm anxious to see it.
First caller of the season, and
who's up? I can give you 1 of 3 now.
Could be Mike, could be Bill, but Bubba has been on the line for an hour.
Bubba beat him to the punch now.
Bubba,
that's rare.
From Tallahassee, Florida. Good. Bubba is our first caller, and Bubba, go ahead. Let's break the seal and get this thing going. You're on the air. Bubba, with a build-up like that.
Oh,
there you go. There you go. Go ahead, Bubba.
Jimbo Nation.
Hey, Bubba, how you doing, big guy?
Jimbo Nation. All right. I'm excited, Coach. More this year in a long time.
You sound like me.
I'm on the way. I'm walking. I'll be there in a minute. But I want to ask you a quick question.
Hi.
Both quarterbacks play, and have you considered putting Everett an option package in at any time and take them to the woodshed?
Yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, Everett can run the option. I mean, we have option in our offense. We've ran it with EJ. We actually ran it with Christian. We did a little bit with Jameis at times. I think there's still a need for that in college football today. And but both guys, I think, before the year's out, will have to help us. And that's not that I'm unhappy with Everett or I'm not. I mean, I just think that's the way the game goes in college football today. I think both guys are very good players, and we got to find a way to help them contribute. But if one guy's got the hot hand, we're definitely not going to pull him out of there. That's for sure.
Okay, Bubba, Jimbo Nation, thanks for your call. Walk safely, if you will. There's not a parking place here around the hotel right now. Next up, Mike from Jacksonville. Mike, you are on the air with Jimbo Fisher. Go ahead, Mike.
Put your hands up.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Florida State.
There we go, Mike.
Hey, Coach, we're having a call-in grilling around here tonight. We're so excited. I'm going to get to my stats. You're going to like it.
All right.
The year we won the national championship, we gave up 12 points a ball game, average up giving up 12 points a ball game. Last year, we gave up almost 22 points a ball game. We almost doubled. Mm-hmm. Coach, I'd like to be able to get back to the pride of Florida State, which was our defense.
I'm not arguing.
Everybody's throwing the ball this year. But But I'd like to see what we can do about controlling the rush. If people don't run the ball as much, talk about the boys up front, see what we're going to do about getting this pride of the rush. We used to take bets up there so we could keep them under 100.
Yeah. What was he saying? Stopping the run?
Stopping the run up
on
front,
defense?
the big guys.
Yes, I agree with that. First thing you got to do
stop
on
the run.
You have to, on defense, you have to stop the run. We give up about 130 last year. We played some pretty good running football teams, but I agree with you. And that's where you've got to win that battle to get in third and long. Everybody wants the sacks from those ends. Well, if you can get them in second and long, third and long, you can lay those ears back and you can go get people. And again, that's going to be the key, is stopping the run. But I've been very pleased in the fall camp so far. Our guys up front now, and Garrick Noddy and Pugh and Walker and those guys have all played really good. Our linebackers are playing downhill, I think, more physical in this camp than we were more a year ago. But that you're exactly right, Mike. That's our first goal on defense, is we got to stop the run, because if people can run the football, they can do whatever they want to do. All
right, Mike from Jacksonville, thanks for your call. Now, Mike and Bubba and Bill, they have our toll-free number on their instant dial, the immediate dial.
There's no doubt on that.
But for those of you listening or watching on ABC 27 that do not know the number, it's on the bottom of the screen. It's 1-877-99-KNOLS, 1-877-996-6537, or you can tweet a question to Coach Jimbo Fisher by using hashtag Jimbo. FSU radio broadcast now available for free on your mobile device. Download the FSU Game Day app from the App Store or Google Play. The FSU Game Day app is presented by Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow, a pedestrian and bicycle safety initiative funded by the Florida Department of Transportation. We'll have more calls and more conversation with head coach Jimbo Fisher when the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheridan, continues after these messages.
Every craftsman worthy of the name knows that a job is not complete until the work area is cleaner than when he started. Remembering that everything has its place is a good rule of thumb. Practice makes perfect, and Barry always strives for perfection. Barry may not be cool, but Barry knows cool. Find out more at whatbarryknows.com.
Fire. Some fear it, some fight it. Some break its will and make it do their bidding. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
As head coach for the Florida State Seminoles, I appreciate expertise and quality. That's why I shop at the Gym Collection. Whether I'm looking for a Rolex watch, beautiful jewelry, or need a repair, I can always count on them to deliver. The Gym Collection has an excellent selection and a dedicated team. So stop by the Gym Collection today, the official jeweler of Florida State Athletics.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by Napleton Infinity and Ramjack.
At Napleton Infinity of Tallahassee, drive luxury for less. Drive home your new Infiniti QX60 from only $399 a month. Or you can drive the new Q50 from only $309 a month. Only at Napleton, get no payments for 90 days. And if you previously owned or leased an Infiniti, get an additional $1,000 owner loyalty towards your next new Infiniti. Plus 0.9% financing is available. Where you shop matters. Shop Napleton Infinity of Tallahassee. Visit us online at napletoninfinity.com.
Foundation damage is a common problem in our area, a problem that won't fix itself. Ramjack has been the foundation experts for over 40 years. Our patented system of deep-driven steel piling stops damaging settlement and puts your home back on a solid foundation. We offer affordable solutions with a transferable warranty for the life of your home. Call for a free on-site evaluation today or visit us on the web for more information. Rely on Ramjack.
The FBI Academy is the toughest boot camp grad school rolled into one.
How do you pass a background check?
think one of these people is a terrorist?
Priyanka Chopra stars Quantico, Sunday, September 27th on ABC.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Have a question for the coach? Call 877-996-6537 now. That's 877-99-KNOWLES.
Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. For those of you watching on ABC 27, listening on the IMG Seminole Radio Network, we are here at the Sheridan 4 Points, and we're talking football with head coach Jimbo Fisher. You know that. And we encourage you to call if you have a question here in the audience. We have the microphone here. Just come forward and ask. We always get great questions here at the Sheridan. So if you have a question, come on forward. Don't be shy. Just come forward and say, hey, coach, I got a question about our offense or about our defense. Okay, 1-877-99-KNOWLES. And Bill from Tampa has been waiting since 5:30 to talk to Jimbo. And Bill, you are on the air now. Go ahead.
Good evening, Coach and Gene. Pleasure to talk to you again for this season.
You too, Bill.
Certainly good luck Saturday against Texas State.
Thank you.
2 questions for you. You mentioned the youth and inexperience in the team. Is there one particular unit on the team, whether it be offense or defense, that you're interested in seeing how they perform in a situation that now counts? And secondly, Jalen Ramsey has moved back to corner, where it said that's more of his natural position. What makes that more of a natural position for him, moving from safety, where he did an admirable job last season?
Well, I think the part of the team that I want to see under pressure is all of them. I do. That is. But, offensively, we've lost a lot of guys. But, I'm very optimistic. I really am, and usually I'm usually the other way. I really am, but I like what I see. I think there's a lot of growth and potential on the offensive court, but everything's going to start up front. If everything up front clicks, you're allowed to see those skill guys play and function and do the things they have to do. But I think Coach Trick has done a tremendous job with those guys. But Jalen, in football, if you can take away a side of the field, it allows the other guys on their team, especially in the secondary, they can roll coverage, they can help each other. You can take that away. Jalen has the ability to do that with tremendous size and length at corner at 6'2", and the way the game's going now, you like to play those guys at safety, but those big receivers, they're so dominating on guys that are 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" that play corner. And you can do it, but when you get a guy at 6'2" like he is, 208 pounds, that can run, I mean, he's a 10'5", 600-meter guy that can long jump, can play physical, can play quick. I mean, it just can take a side of the field away, and you can roll your coverage and protect the other guys. But I'm very pleased with them, too. It's not like we have to, but when you can do that, it's just a big advantage. And, I always say this, you got to have pressure up front, but the corners set the parameters of your defense. When you got great corners, you're allowed to free yourself up to blitz and do more things on defense. And when you got one that great, and that's really what Jalen is. That's his natural position.
All right, there's your answer, Bill. 2-part question. Always great to hear from Bill from
He's
Tampa.
Always got good questions.
He's always got good questions. And Mike's got a stat of the week every week. And Bubba, he just wants to salute Jimbo Nation when he's taking a walk around the neighborhood.
Hey, leave Bubba alone now.
From Beachton, just north of us, Phil has a question. Go ahead, Phil. You're on the air with Jimbo Fisher.
Hey, here's hoping for a great season. It's already off to a great start, knowing Gene's back and Jimbo's back, and hopefully many more.
I'm with you, Phil.
I've got this is maybe a tough question. It's a last year question.
All right.
What player from last year will you miss the most? And how soon do you think will Everett Golson make you forget him?
I didn't hear the second part. They were laughing. Next part, say that one more time.
How soon will Everett Golson make you forget him?
I don't know if I'll ever forget that one now. It's going to be hard to forget that one now.
That's a tough question.
It is. But, last year, to say one guy, everybody asked me that from the national championship team. I couldn't say one guy. I mean, you had KB, you had Telvin that year, you had Joyner, you had Jernigan, the list goes, it goes on. And last year you can't. Everybody. The obvious choice is Jameis, and Jameis was once a unique player and one of the greatest players ever played, in my opinion, not only at Florida State but in college football. But you go to Cam and what Cam did, playing left tackle, playing center. What Rashad Green brought to the table so much. Even Eddie Goldman up front on the other side. There were so many guys. I don't know if there's any one guy. I kind of say all of them. I like to have them all back. But no, it's just part of the game that you got to move on. And Everett, like I say, Everett, I'm hoping will play well. I think he's doing a good job preparing, doing the things he has to do. But, the key for quarterbacks, and I've said this, one of the things that allowed Jameis to play so well when he was a true freshman, he had good guys around him. We had experience around him, and he didn't have to do a lot of other things. He could just focus on his job, and then once that clicked in, after about the first 10 minutes of the first game, that he kind of took off and did some other things, But I think the key for Everett, too, is not just Everett, but how the guys around him play that allow him to function and play and run the right routes, be at the right depths, protect the right things, make the right, adjustments in the route patterns. So I think it's not just all on Everett. I think it's going to be on the whole unit, and that's what I'm anxious to see.
All right, Phil, always good to hear from Phil from Beachton. That opens up a line, 1-877-99-Knowles. From hiking and biking to dining and dancing, Tallahassee has plenty to do before and after every FSU home game. When planning your next trip, check out visittallahassee.com, and soon you'll be saying, here you go, Coach. I heart Tally too.
This guy. You had all year to fix that now. You had all year to fix that.
I heart Tally too. The Jimbo Fisher College. We're having a great time. Glad you could join us on radio and TV. The Jimbo Fisher College Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheridan, will continue after these messages.
Let's celebrate what's really important. Let's celebrate backyards and barbecues, mothers and fathers, old-timers and newcomers. Let's celebrate history and generations. Loyalty built on trust. Let's celebrate hard-won important things like over 225 stores, old-fashioned values, and lifetime relationships. Let's celebrate right, because after 40 years, we're more than a neighborhood pool store. We're a company built around families, just like yours. Pinch a Penny, trusted values, expert support for 40 years.
This is it, guys. The game we've been waiting for. Let's go advanced play 30, match 5 on the right. Reggie, this is all you, baby. You got this?
I got this, but who are you?
I'm Carl. Fantasy Vibe winner? Orange Park?
No.
No? Anyone? On to, ready? Break!
Get closer to your team than ever. Play the College Football Fantasy 5 promotion from the Florida Lottery and enter your team's drawing to score a new Kia Sorrento, bowl trips, $10,000 cash, and incredible fan experiences. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by Awards for You and Tallahassee Community College.
If your dream is to attend FSU, the TCC to FSU program can get you there guaranteed. Tallahassee Community College advisors will help you stay on track to earn your degree and transfer. Begin your journey to an FSU degree through the TCC to FSU Golden Guarantee program.
Want to save more money at the gas pump? It's easy. Log on to WTXL.TV today and click on Gas Tracker, and you can find the lowest prices around with the click of a button. It's Gas Tracker, brought to you by WTXL ABC 27, dedicated to you. Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from downtown at the 4 Points Sheridan. Once again, Gene Deckerhoff and head coach Jimbo Fisher.
Sheridan 4 Points in downtown Tallahassee. In the neighborhood on a Wednesday night, come on by. We have a little bit of room you can squeeze in. Well, Jim, before we take our Ask the Coach segment and get back to the telephone call, I want to ask a question. How many FSU students do we have here tonight? How many students? Look at this. My goodness. Wow. Welcome back. Tell your friends, come on out here. You having a good time? Having a good time? You got front row seats. That rules when you're a Florida State student, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. 1-877-99-Knowles toll-free number. And, Coach, before we get to our next caller, it's time for the Ask the Coach segment presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. You're home for the right stuff, the low price every day. Submit your questions to the coach on Twitter and use hashtag Jimbo or click on the Ask the Coach button located on Seminoles.com. And, again, presented by Academy. Here's the question. It is from submitted by Jimmy from Pensacola, and the question, Coach, is what is your biggest concern heading into the season? Biggest concern heading into the season?
we don't have, this show's not long enough to go over all my concerns.
Oh, we got 40 minutes.
And it would be that way for the experience. The first games for a coach, I mean, you have no idea that the amount of things that go through my head that are concerns. I mean, but, I think that just that we don't let the moment be too big and try too hard with so many young guys early, and just let themselves relax and play. You know what I mean? And hopefully after that first hit or two of the game, they'll relax and get in the game and maybe just like practice and get back to normal. But you don't want the anxiety of trying to perform too hard and trying to, the success we've had and trying to match that success. Just go be yourself. Go play the game. Do the things you got to do. And you're definitely good enough to be here. We wouldn't have recruited you.
Okay, Jimmy, that is the answer to your question submitted on Seminoles.com. Ask the Coach segment presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Now, back to telephone callers. We've talked to Bubba. We've talked to Mike. We've talked to Phil and Bill. Let's talk to Tom from Tallahassee. Go ahead, Tom. You're on the air. Hello,
hey,
Tom.
Coach. Hey, Gene.
Hey, Tom.
Looking forward to the season. Quick two-part question for you guys. I know we're breaking in 4 out of 5 on the offensive line, and especially with a new center being that quarterback of the offensive line. I guess from a fan's aspect, how is Alec Everly, Corey Martinez, Hofield, looking on the line? And quick second-part question is, with the rainy season still in effect, do you get the guys out a little wet here and there to see how they're playing wet football? And I'll hang up and listen to you guys.
Yeah, that's a great question. We do wet ball drills. We do them once a week, even during the season. We do them. We had a nice practice the other day. It rained in the middle of practice, and we stayed out. If it's not lightning, we don't go in. No, we've had 1 or 2 of those, and it's been so hot in this camp. I mean, it's been crazy. But we do try to get out in the wet ball as much as you can. That's a great point, because some guys got to learn. They got to learn to handle it. Because I've always felt as an offensive coach, the rain is actually an advantage for you. I think it can be an offensive advantage if you handle it the right way. But what was the other part of the question?
About the new centers, 4 or 5 new starters in the offensive
exactly
line.
Right. That's what people don't realize, and you are exactly right. They make all those run calls, a lot of protection. Well, the quarterback makes protection checks, but then they got to make the calls up front. They're like the quarterback, the O-line, and those 3 young guys are doing a good job. They're very intelligent. They've put a lot of time in. Coach Trickett does a great job explaining things, and for the most part today, I can't think maybe one time today that we had a call that wasn't right. It wasn't a major deal, but those guys for the most part are hitting things on the head and doing a great job.
Okay, thanks for the call, Tom. He waited through the break and through the Ask the Coach segment. He knew the names of all 3 of the centers. That's a knowledgeable fan, huh?
He's on top of it.
Tom, appreciate your phone call. 1-877-99-KNOWLS opens up a line. # Jimbo if you want to tweet in a question. We'll answer those as well. Bobby is in Tallahassee. Go ahead, Bobby. You're on the air. Bobby. That's good coaching.
Hey, it's all right. Come on. Take your time. You're all right.
Bobby, you're on.
This isn't the Bobby. This is a different Bobby.
Yeah. All right, D-Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just wondering about how commitment to current players affects long-term recruiting.
About what about the repeat that, please?
Yeah, I'm just wondering about a commitment to current players, how it affects long-term recruiting.
Commitment to current players. You mean on our team?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bobby, if you check Bobby's listening on the radio, so that's why there's a delay. But commitment, your commitment to your team and how that affects
I think it
recruiting.
definitely is, because you want to go somewhere that that the things that are being said in recruiting are going to come true, and it's very simple. The way we look at things in Florida State, and the way we, I think all of our sports do, but I know we definitely do in football, is we treat those kids as if they were our own. If that was one of my 2 boys, if that was Trey or Ethan, whatever situation occurs, that's how we do it. Now I tell them I whip my boys. so no, we can't do that. But it is. I mean, you have to be fair with those kids, because they have to have guidance right now. You can't go tell them everything they want to hear. You got to tell them what's right, what's wrong, make them do the right things. But also, you have to be there to support them when they have times of trouble and they need someone to talk to. And if someone needs to stand up for them, we're going to do that. And I think some things that have happened in the past that were not intended for those reasons. But that's just our philosophy, the way to do things. It has definitely helped us in recruiting, because people see that no matter what the circumstances, if we think they're right and they are right, we stand with them. But if they're wrong, we punish and do the things we got to do. So I think parents respect that, and I think that's all you can ask of a program, that they give you honesty when your kids come there. And we've got great kids, that's for sure.
Okay, Bobby, there's your answer. Thanks for your telephone call, calling from Tallahassee. We've had callers from Jacksonville, Tampa, Beachton, a couple from Tallahassee. You could be next. 1-877-99-KNOWLS toll-free number. Jimbo's waiting for your telephone calls right now on questions. Say, Knowles fans, you can win a VIP experience at KnowlesContest.com. That's KnowlesContest.com, brought to you by Florida Farm Bureau. The Jimbo Fisher call-in show, live from 4 Points by Sheridan, will continue after these messages.
fire. Some fear it, some fight it. Some break its will and make it do their bidding. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
Every craftsman worthy of the name knows that a job is not complete until the work area is cleaner than when he started. Remembering that everything has its place is a good rule of thumb. Practice makes perfect, and Barry always strives for perfection. Barry may not be cool, but Barry knows cool. Find out more at whatbarryknows.com.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors. It's time. It's a new year. Doak Campbell Stadium is our home. We will defend our home. Will you? On your TV. On your computer. On your tablet, on your smartphone. And now you can get WTXL ABC 27 dedicated to you on your Apple Watch. Go to WTXL.tv and click on the Get Apps tab for a list of fast and free downloads that deliver WTXL ABC 27 news to you on the go. It's time. It's a new year. Doak Campbell Stadium is our home. We will defend our home. Will you? You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show on WTXL ABC 27. Now, here's the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, and head coach, Jimbo Fisher.
Back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheridan in downtown Tallahassee. We encourage you to call 1-877-99-NOLES. You have a question about Florida State football. We open the season on Saturday. You know that. A little after 8 o'clock, it's FSU versus Texas State. We're taking telephone calls, and we'll get back to the phone lines in a moment. But now let's take a look at the Gem Collection Stat of the Week. Brought to you by the Gem Collection. And, Coach, here's the stat. And this is scary, I guess. You see this every day. There are just 2 seniors on offense, and that is tied for the lowest total in the nation with Nevada, Pitt, and Wake Forest for the fewest number of seniors on an offensive unit. The offense returns a combined 37 starts, where the defense has 134 starts. How young is this team?
Well, and you got to think about one is a walk-on, and the other is a transfer, Everett.
Those are the
that's the 2 seniors on the whole offense.
Wow.
You make me sleep well tonight, Gene. Appreciate that.
That is your Gem Collection Gem Stat of the Week. The Gem Collection, specializing in the finest jewelry and service in Tallahassee since 1977. I think I saw Don and Dorothy here.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Good to see you over there, Don. Yeah, the Gem Collection, great place as we get closer to the big holiday season. Next, let's go to the phone lines now, Coach. Dina has been waiting for the last 10 minutes. Dina, you have a question for Jimbo. Go ahead.
No, I don't have a question for Coach Fisher. I have a thank you for Coach Fisher.
Oh, thank you.
A year ago, I had a grandson that is severely bullied. He was told to go home and shoot himself, fat boy, picked on at school. I called Coach Fisher's office, and he let a young man write a letter of encouragement to this child, and also was gracious enough to let him come to a practice, to watch the team practice. The young man he allowed to write to him was Mario Edwards, Jr., and we wanted to thank him.
How about you?
How is he doing? Is he doing okay?
Well, he gets picked on still, and he misses Mario. He's written to him a couple of times. He was a little sad when he left the team.
That makes 2 of them.
But
Dina, thank you very much for that telephone call. And thank you, Mario, and good luck at that next level where he is now. Jenny is in Tallahassee. Jenny, you're on the air next. Go ahead. Jenny.
Hello?
You're on the air, Jenny.
Hello?
Hello, you're on.
Hello?
Hey, Jenny.
Turn that radio down and you can.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Coach Fisher.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
This is live radio and live TV. Jenny, do you have a question? What?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't really know enough about football to ask you a question. But
Hey, I like this call.
but I do know I speak for the whole student body when I say I'm thrilled for this season, and we are all counting down the days till Saturday.
Thank you.
I was born and raised a Florida State football fan, and I couldn't be more excited about this season and more excited to be part of Florida State University. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Jenny.
See, that was a good question. I like that, see?
I think Jenny is ready for a football game.
See, she puts me in a good mood. You put me in a bad mood, Jenny.
Oh, well, I just throw out these stats that are, they're not as exciting to hear as what Jenny just had to say. She's
Exactly.
a student.
And she sounds sweeter than you are.
But she said she knew nothing about football. But she's going to be at the stadium.
Oh, come watch a game.
I know.
Watch excitement.
There you go.
To listen to you.
1-877-99-KNOWLES. Toll-free number. Let's talk to Rob from Alabama. Go ahead, Rob. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Hey, Jimbo. This is Seminole Rob. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama, one of the biggest Seminole families in the state of Alabama. We try to make it down to at least one game a year. And just want to let you know, very proud of you and everything you're doing with the team through the adversity you faced and everything. But just want to know we love you and we appreciate what you're doing and keep up the good work. My question is, I was listening to some different commentators about, your multitude of first-round draft pick quarterbacks, and when they get into the NFL, the systems in the NFL, the play call and everything, seems to be a little less complicated than what we're running down in Tallahassee. So my question is, have you thought about simplifying some of the offensive play calls in your quarterbacks?
Hey, it's working pretty good. I'm not going to fix nothing. No, we do adjust. We do. We can get very complicated if we want to. I've been blessed to be around some guys that really do a lot of ball, and our guys grasp a lot of ball. But that's one of the reasons why they're able to get drafted and do that, because their knowledge that fits into that league so much. But we always adjust our system to what our guys can handle. There's no doubt about that.
From Jenny in Tallahassee, a student at FSU, to Rob in Huntsville, Alabama, thanks for your telephone calls. We'll continue our conversation about Florida State football on this Wednesday night. A reminder first from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designate a driver. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from 4 Points by Sheridan, will continue after these messages.
As head coach for the Florida State Seminoles, I appreciate expertise and quality. That's why I shop at the Gym Collection. Whether I'm looking for a Rolex watch, beautiful jewelry, or need a repair, I can always count on them to deliver. The Gym Collection has an excellent selection and a dedicated team. So stop by the Gym Collection today, the official jeweler of Florida State Athletics.
When it comes to warm, fluffy clothes dried in half the time, natural gas has you covered. Folding is another story. People's Gas. We're delivering the natural choice more Floridians enjoy. Learn how you can earn up to $1,750 in cashback allowances with our energy conservation rebates at peoplesgas.com/enjoy.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors. Come show your support for the Seminoles at the Friday Night Block Party. Friday, September 4th at Clayman Plaza. There will be live entertainment from the Swan Brothers. Plus plenty of food and drink. WTXL ABC 27 will be there broadcasting live. Stop by to say hi and get a look behind the scenes. Friday Night Block Party brought to you by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, WTXL ABC 27, and these fine sponsors.
Get ready for good music under the trees. The Tallahassee Downtown Business Association presents Saturdays in the Park, the first Saturday of the month at 8 p.m. Bring your lawn chairs and enjoy Jazz Copeland performing live at Ponce de Leon Park. The best part is, it's free. Saturdays in the Park, presented by the Tallahassee Downtown Business Association. Sponsored by Cumulus Radio and WTXL ABC 27, dedicated to you.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Have a question for the coach? Call 877-996-6537 now. That's 877-99-KNOWLES.
Well, the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is in progress. We are halfway through. It's been a very busy first half hour. A lot of questions about football, a lot of excitement in the air. The college football season officially gets underway tomorrow night. Your Seminole season starts on Saturday when Texas State comes to Doak Campbell Stadium. Can't wait till hits leather. 8 o'clock kickoff, a little after 8 o'clock Saturday night. And Coach, college football begins tomorrow night. There's about three big games, a lot of big games on Thursday night.
There really are. I mean, there's some great games opened up in his first weekend.
Yeah, and then there's a few games on Friday, then a mess of games on Saturday, and we open up against Texas State, a team we've never played before out of the Sun Belt Conference from San Marcos, Texas. Ready for some more phone calls?
Yes, I am. Let's
from
go.
Alligator Point, we're going to talk to John next. Go ahead, John. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Great place.
Hey, Gene, how y'all doing? I
Doing
just
good.
want to tell you I support this program through two means. One through the boosters, the second through Don over at Sim Collection and the jewelry I get for my wife. But here's the question.
There you go.
I think you've done a great job, and especially in development and the recruiting. But I want to know how Coach Trickett's doing and how he's feeling about that offensive line, because it sounds just like about 4 years ago.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you would stand within at least a mile of our practice field, you'd know how he's feeling about it every day. And generally, I'm about right behind him, so I can't say a lot. I'm generally right behind him, about right with him most of the time. But, no, he's doing really well. He's working those guys hard. I mean, I think this is when Trick does his best work. I really do. I think he can take guys and make them believe and work hard and get those guys understanding those young players and the fundamentals of toughness and the things. If they just listen to him and trust him, they'll be fine. Like I say, he's one of the best in the business, if not the best in the business. And I think he does a tremendous job with young players because he's such a great teacher. He's a technician. He's a disciplinarian guy. And he just teaches every day, and he's a great fundamental football coach.
Okay, John from Alligator Point, thanks for your comment and your question and your participation and support of our sponsors of the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Appreciate that. Okay, Dan from Tallahassee.
Don, you're going to have to use him on your commercials.
Yeah, Dan. Dan is from Tallahassee. Dan, you're on the air. Go ahead. All right, Dan.
Hey, Gene. Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
My question is, just the last couple of years, first game of the year, we've played teams that we ain't played before in years. My question is, without giving away all your trade secrets, how do you come up with a game plan for teams like that? You know, when you don't have a lot of film or, things to key on.
Well, you get a lot of film. You can get the film from a year ago from everybody now because, the world's it's an internet world. I mean, it's not hard to get the film. But the thing about it is knowing the coaches and what they do, and there's always that element of surprise in an opening game. I mean, it really is. That's the thing. As a head coach, everybody says, what do you worry about? Everything. Because you don't know what someone has done for 6 months. I mean, how they can target you. And, of course, we know we're having great success, so people are going to target us no matter what. They target us throughout the year. They spend the whole offseason on us. Even we're playing the 5th, 6th game of the year and do things for us. So, I mean, there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of responsibility that goes with winning like we are right now. But, it's a lot of sleepless nights. You cover things A to Z, and I'll go in and say it. And they said, you've already said that, Coach. I said, good. I'm saying it again. Just think about it again. I mean, you just, it's over and over and over. But it's fun to play guys you don't know. But like I say, there are certain challenges and a lot of sleepless nights. You lay there wondering, what they're going to do. But the good thing, hopefully, if you know the coaches. Now, these coaches, I've Dennis Francione, I coached against him a lot when he was at Alabama. I was over at LSU, and, of course, John Thompson the same way. He's a great defense coordinator, so I know both of those guys, but they're both really good coaches. So we'll have our hands full, there's no doubt.
Okay, thanks for your call, Dan. Let's have a visit with Steve from Tallahassee. Go ahead, Steve. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Hey, Gene. Hey, Coach.
Hey,
how we doing? I think we were on YouTube the other day and under sports, and it had the 10 fastest collegiate football players, and so I clicked on it, and the first fellow that came up was Bracey. And I was shocked. I didn't realize he was that fast. When he showed him in the track meet, it didn't look like 100. He blew these guys away. I was trying to figure out how does Brace compare to the offense and defense this year, And by the way, how are you going to replace O'Leary? You got some people looking good?
Did he say Bracey?
He said Bracey.
Well, Bracey's already run the track. He left and went pro track.
He left the football program to run track.
Yeah, exactly did. But now Kermit, when you go back, Marvin was the first, or I think he was the fastest guy out of high school ever in 100 meters, and Kermit was the third fastest in the history of high school sports that ever played college football in the 100 meters, third fastest ever. So, I mean, they're very, Kermit can do a lot of things. He's learning to really be a tremendous receiver down the field, do some things. We can get the ball in his hand as a return guy. So those speed guys, you got to find ways to put the ball in their hand and get them in space.
All right, Steve, talking about fast college football players, and he also threw in Nick O'Leary's name. Nick O'Leary
like I say, Nick O'Leary is going to be one of the all-time greats in Florida State history. I mean, you don't ever replace Nick O'Leary, but I will say this. We have some very, very talented tight ends in this group. Now, I hope they got to go out there and play, but I think in the long run they're going to have a tremendous upsides. I mean, 6'5" guys are 240, 255 pounds that can get vertical down the field along with the size, the block, and the things they were doing side to side, but they can get vertical. These guys can really run, so I'm excited about our young tight ends.
Visit your neighborhood Winn-Dixie store for all your tailgating needs for this weekend's game. Winn-Dixie, the official supermarket of the Florida State Seminoles. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from the 4 Points by Sheridan, will continue after these messages.
Every craftsman worthy of the name knows that a job is not complete until the work area is cleaner than when he started. Remembering that everything has its place is a good rule of thumb. Practice makes perfect, and Barry always strives for perfection. Barry may not be cool, but Barry knows cool. Find out more at whatbarryknows.com.
Fire. Some fear it, some fight it. Some break its will and make it do their bidding. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors.
Breakfast speaks for itself here at Whataburger. We have some fresh cracked eggs here. Every time you get Whataburger breakfast, it's going to be hot, it's going to be fresh. I love the gravy.
I like their hash browns.
People love their taquitos.
It's almost like when you were a kid and you wake up in the morning, you can smell mom cooking breakfast.
My favorite is the honey butter chicken biscuit.
Milk is on the bun with sausage.
I like these pancakes because they're fluffy.
You can get into Whataburger real fast. You know it's going to be fresh, it's going to be hot.
In the morning, when I'm on my way to work, for me, it's perfect.
We're cooking breakfast for you at Whataburger.
Football fans, show some spirit at the Bud Light Tallahassee Downtown Get Down Friday nights before home games on Adams Street. There'll be live entertainment for the entire family. Catch 2 Foot Level with David LaRue and the Copper Pots Friday, September 4th, along with plenty of crafts, food, and drinks. Not to mention nearly 20 years of tradition supporting FSU. The Bud Light Tallahassee Downtown Get Down, brought to you by WTXL, ABC 27, and these fine sponsors.
You're watching the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show on WTXL ABC 27. Now, here's the voice of the Seminoles, Gene Deckerhoff, and head coach, Jimbo Fisher.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. 4 Points by Sheridan, downtown Tallahassee, 1-877-99-NOLS, toll-free number, 1-877-996-6537. A lot of calls so already tonight. First show, Coach.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Great turnout.
Yeah, great group of Seminole fans here. A lot of Garnet in this building tonight. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock, a little after 8 on Saturday, Florida State, Texas State. Before we get to a phone call, we had a question, and a young lady said she was just too shy to ask you with a microphone, but she wanted to know, since it was such a hard choice to determine who was going to be your starting quarterback, would you consider that two-headed thing like back in the late 70s that had Jimmy Jordan and Wally Woodham? Hey, that's the question. Okay, there's your question.
I'll do whatever we have to do to win.
There you go. There's your answer.
If that's what we have to do, I promise you that.
Now, don't be shy now. I'm not going to ask you a question for you anymore. You're going to come up here and grab this microphone. Right here it is, okay? George from Tallahassee is on the phone, and George, you're next with Jimbo. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
My question for you, Everett Golson, pretty well documented. He's an excellent quarterback, and he has all the tangibles that you look for in a quarterback. One of his concerns, Everett Golson's concerns at Notre Dame, was the turnovers. Mm-hmm. How did you address that during camp?
Like we do with all of our guys. I mean, we do fundamental ball drills every day, ball security drills, and not only how you carry it when you run, but trying to keep two hands on it in the pocket, which at times can be quarterbacks' natural motion. When they go to run, they want to break the hands and have one hand on the ball. That's where it gets swatted. We spent a lot of time. Coach Sanders has done a great job fundamentally working with that. And, of course, his decision-making and what we're trying to do in the passing game. He hasn't thrown very many interceptions throughout camp. I mean, and even in practice. He makes good decisions for the most part, consistently, which I think is, decision-making and accuracy is the two most important things when it gets right down to it. And so we spend a lot of time in ball security, keeping hands on the ball when he scrambles, keeping his eyes up. But when he does go, how we're tucking the ball and keeping it there. So hopefully it'll pay off, and we'll cut those turnovers down.
Okay, George, thanks for the call from Tallahassee. 1-877-99-NOLS toll-free number. Jacob is in Tallahassee as well. Go ahead, Jacob. You're on the air with Jimbo. Jacob?
Hey, Coach.
There you go.
Hey, Jacob.
I want to know what you think of. I just want to know what you think of our chances to make it to the playoffs this year.
I like our chances. I really do. I like this football team, but we got a lot of work to do. We got to play one game at a time, and everybody's worried about this, that. What we got to do is just keep winning football games. We have to keep getting better each week. Whatever we do, what we have to do, work hard, and not, like I tell them right now, put your head down. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. All you see is darkness. Just keep going. There'll be light in a while. Don't worry about that. And try not to worry about the playoff, as crazy as that sounds. Just learn to get better and keep playing well. And at the end of the day, if you do things right, the playoff will be there.
Okay, Jacob, there's your answer. Thanks for your telephone call. We've had youngsters call. About three youngsters have called, Jimbo. They're interested in football.
Exactly.
All right, next, Richard is in Georgia. That covers a lot of territory. Richard, you're on the air with Jimbo.
Hey, Coach, our young lady that was scared to get on the mic actually asked my question, so I'm going to modify it. I actually went to school with Jimmy Jordan and Wally Woodham, our first tandem quarterback team.
Okay.
As an offensive play calling coach, what challenges would a tandem quarterback team present for you in your play calling?
Well, it depends on their skill set, of how different they are. Because everybody said, well, you can have two packages. What you got to remember, then you have to teach two offenses. So when do your other players, your linemen, your receivers, your backs, when do they have time to learn that? That's the thing about having two different quarterbacks that play two totally different systems. You can teach them, but when you're doing it in practice, you got to split time. Now you got to teach the players who are on the field two systems. See, one quarterback can learn one system, but he's got to play with 10 other guys. It's not like a pitcher. He can go out there on the mound and throw his pitches and do that. He has to have the other guys around to function. So the problem with that, when you get two drastically different guys, is that you got to teach the whole team two different systems, and that can be a huge problem.
All right, Richard, there's your answer from Georgia. Thanks for your telephone call. It is complicated, isn't it, Coach?
It really is. If we're just teaching one guy, that's easy, but you got to teach them all.
KJ is in Tallahassee. Go ahead, KJ. You're on the air with Jimbo.
Hey, Jimbo, how you doing?
Good, KJ. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I got a quick question. John Shula, when he would coach his quarterbacks, he said that he would modify the offense based upon the ability of his quarterback. Do you do that similar coaching scheme?
Big time. I mean, you play to each guy's talents, and that goes all the way back to when I first became a coach back in the late '80s. I mean, every guy we have the complete system, but what we feature, what we do, what each guy does well, and I give them lots of input in it. I mean, there's certain things, as a coach, you can say, well, this is our system. Well, if that guy doesn't like that play and he can't execute that play, then I'm a pretty dumb coach. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to do what the guys can do, and that's why we have such a vast volume of offense, because each guy's talents are different, and we can tweak and turn and put those guys in positions to make plays. But we definitely – I've called for for instance, the last three – the guys are all first-round picks, Christian, EJ, and Jameis. I called the games totally different for each guy. They were similar in a lot of ways, but what I featured and what we did – people say, won't you do this? Won't you do this? But you got to remember, it's not what I know. I mean, I know what we can do, but you got to know what the players can do and what they like to do and are capable of doing. We call the game totally different for all three guys.
All right, KJ, there's your answer. Thanks for your telephone call from Tallahassee. More calls just around the corner. The party's downtown on Friday night at Clayman Plaza, preceding each FSU home football game. That means night after tomorrow night, Friday night. That's when the downtown Clayman Plaza thing's going to go on, the FRLA Friday night block party. Kicks off at 5 o'clock and is presented by the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, Tri-Eagle Sales, CenturyLink Prism, Visit Florida, and Kia Autosport. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show continues live from 4 Points by Sheridan after these messages.
Within our walls, lives are being changed. Healing is happening, making people stronger. Where innovations drive the day, a testament to the will and spirit of technology, furthering our understanding of life. But we know your life happens beyond these walls. Courageous people doing amazing things. Neighbors serving neighbors. Where a proud community thrives, vibrant and enduring, laughing, playing. Because a healthy life is a happy life. And your health means everything to us. You are why we're blending advanced technology with compassion and going beyond our walls to rethink healthcare. We are Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, your hospital for life.
The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors. Want to keep up with local news, weather, and sports? Log on to WTXL.tv today and download the new and improved WTXL News app. Now you can see more news headlines than ever, receive breaking news push alerts, watch live newscasts and video on demand, see live weather satellite and radar maps, and live traffic maps, all from your phone or tablet. The all-new WTXL ABC 27 News app, brought to you by these sponsors. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by these sponsors. Tallahassee Board of Realtors, Benson's Heating and Air, Cars, Trucks, and Credit, Tallahassee Eye Center, and E&B Heating and Air. The Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show is brought to you in part by the Gem Collection. Welcome back to the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show, live from downtown at the 4 Points Sheridan. Once again, Gene Deckerhoff and head coach Jimbo Fisher.
That's the goal of every team. Go beat the guy you're going to play. And what are the keys to maybe a first game? Are they different than like say a mid-season game?
Well, I think they are in that there's some anxiety issues. You got new guys the first time they've ever hit a field. So, I mean, keeping your poise. I think poise always in an opening game is going to be very critical because you're going to see something that you haven't seen before because they've had all off season to work on it and do some things. So keeping your poise, not panicking in big situations. But then it goes going back to, like we always say, turnovers, big plays, and penalties. You have to eliminate those things out of your repertoire, and hopefully they make some of them. But I think poise early in early games with not just inexperience here, but any new player, and even as a veteran, as a coach, you go back out there. I mean, all the years I've been on the sideline, I'm still nervous. I mean, you still have the nerves, you still have the jitters, you still want to play and get back in the flow of calling a game, playing a game. You know what I mean? All those things are very critical, and keeping those guys calm in that first part of the game so they can go play.
A year ago, Jimbo, we traveled to the state of Texas. We're bringing the state of Texas to Doak Campbell Stadium this weekend. We got Texas State in the house. A scouting report on Texas State. They run a spread option.
They do. They run a spread system. Everybody, as soon as you see spread, you think throw the football, which they do. But most teams, if you really study spread teams today, they do it to run the football. They get gaps, they get space, and they create with great athletes. But the other thing on that, they only throw and run, but they mix option in with that. So it's a three-headed monster, and that becomes a very, very tough thing. Not only the quarterback run game, but the true option game and some misdirection things and throw the ball back offensively. Coach Franchione, he's won over 200 games as a head coach, I think 210. Yeah. That's a lot of football games. Been a head coach for 29 years. And then on defense, John Thompson, defense coordinator, he's been all over the SEC. We went against each other a bunch of different times. Very multiple, very unorthodox at times, can be very conventional, but then all of a sudden he can have 8 guys standing up at the line of scrimmage, no one with their hand in the dirt, different looks, trying to create confusion. Very good football coach. I mean, and on defense, they got a great corner too. They got some experienced linebackers. They got a nose guard, a heck of a player. There's a guy on the edge that rushes very well. I mean, so they've got a really good football team. They went, they had a winning season last year, and of course they very well coached.
All right, those are the keys of the game. And a little scouting report on the Texas State Bobcats. We play at a little after 8 o'clock, No Campbell Stadium. Bobby, about time for one more call, Coach, before we let you get out of here. Shane in Tallahassee, if you got a quick question, Shane, go ahead.
Hello.
Gene, Coach, how y'all doing?
Yeah, doing good.
Shane.
Time for a real quick question.
Good deal. All right, well, I just wanted to pretty much know these recruits, which recruits this year do you think are going to have the biggest impact this season? Thanks for taking my call, and go Noles.
The guys that are already here. Now, I can't speak of the guys we're recruiting right now, but, we've had quite a few freshmen making them. There's a lot of those young freshman receivers who are doing a great job. They got banged up, but they're coming back in. Of course, Derwin James on that side. Tavares McFadden was doing, he'd get back healthy. He has a chance to really make a big impact. I'm trying to go through Lorenzo Phillips, the junior college linebacker. Have a lot of time early in what we're doing. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through everybody. Marcus Lewis was playing very well until he got banged up. Jaquez Patrick's doing a great job. There's quite a few guys in that mix that they're doing very well. It's a heck of a class.
Some of the guys that came in early, the 7 guys, George Campbell had a touchdown catch in the spring game.
Yes, all those guys.
Yeah, all those guys are going to have an impact this season. Coach, good luck against Texas State. Good luck. Texas State comes into town 8 o'clock. On Saturday night. This has been the Jimbo Fisher Call-In Show. Our Seminole IMG Sports Network crew is engineered by Chris Holton. Jonathan Shalacy is our producer. The Seminole IMG Sports Network is a division of IMG, America's only college sports. Gene Deckerhoff for Coach Jimbo Fisher saying, good night, go Noles. We got the war chant going on.